So what's up, y'all? I'm Coco, owner, founder of Coco Cakes by Coco in Atlanta, Georgia. And you can find us on all things Coco Cakes by Coco, whether that's Instagram, MySpace, Coco Cakes by Coco. Find it and get some love in your mouth. Make sure you
audience some love on here, man.
Yeah, all right, y'all. Sit down now. We got a show to do. What's up, Coco? How you feeling?
I'm wonderful, man. How about y'all?
Hey.
Yeah.
What's that, the fourth time we've been ever asked back, 20?
3 seasons, Coco. 4 people asked us how we doing. I appreciate that.
I think it just shows a genuineness. And I didn't just say it. I was really interested. Y'all didn't respond, though.
We don't know.
I did ask. It was an American author that wrote that, too. And I think it was actually 1930.
Thank you, Coco. You are the best. Hey, okay, look, y'all. I love everybody to sing. Look, like, you know how all my guests. I love all my guests to sing, right? Like, you got to tell your students, but I'm not going to say there's favorites. There's just people I would prefer to call them. Coco is that person.
You know, we have a lot of expressions in the English language.
I don't even know what I'm saying.
What are we talking about?
Where'd that come from?
Most all of us use them every day.
I don't even know what that means.
No one knows what it means.
You know, we just say them as if they really made sense.
I mean, how silly is that?
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
What the f*** is he talking about?
You know who it is. You know what it is. It's me, Mario, and welcome to the Appraise the Phrase Show, Origins of Everyday Expressions. We're here to do 3 things: unveil the origin, confirm the meaning, and assess the value of common everyday phrases. Got on Stripes. Usually I'm a solids type, but Stripes is on right now. Hope that doesn't startle nobody, no viewers out there. I'm very particular about how I look from the chest up. 20's in the building with me as usual. My guy 20, what's good, brother?
Oh, what's good, man? What's going on with you?
How do you feel
got
about
the Yankee stripes on, so you got the Detroit fitted with the Yankee stripes? What's going on with that, man?
Hey, bro.
Come on, man.
Anyways. Wow.
Come on, bro, because you're so Detroit, bro. You're so Detroit.
I get it. You're taking it back. And I'm with that. I'm actually with that, and I will own that. I'll own that myself. Because we ain't got no striped uniform, and that's where I froze. I'm like, yo, the Tigers ain't got no striped uniform.
And Tigers used to have striped uniforms.
That's what I'm saying. Back in the Ty Cobb days, right?
Well, I don't know when, but I know they used to have.
Look at me, I'm trying. Ty Cobb.
I was just about to say, what the hell was that?
I throw any old school name out there. Hey, that around that time, right? Well, hey, listen, welcome to the show today. You heard that voice. I'm happy to have them in the building. So let's not waste no time. Today, we have somebody that is doing great things in the community. As usual, we're not coming with nobody, no slouches. So let me introduce founder of Coco Cakes, none other than Coco by way of Atlanta, Georgia. Coco, what's good, brother? Hey, the audience gonna get you.
Oh, yeah, no, we show love. The audience show love on here, man. Audience show love on here, man.
Yeah, all right, y'all. Sit down now. We got a show to do. What's up, Coco? How you feeling?
I'm wonderful, man. How about y'all?
Hey.
Yeah.
What's that, the fourth time we've been ever asked back, 20?
3 seasons, Coco. 4 people asked us how we doing. I appreciate that.
I think it just shows a genuineness. And I didn't just say it. I was really interested. Y'all didn't respond, though.
We don't know.
I did ask, right?
And all 4 times, Coco, we didn't know how to react. All 4
we did
times.
not.
I got it.
We did not know how to react all 4 times.
Most people don't, though. You know, like even in passing, somebody say something like "speak what's up" or whatever. If you respond and ask, "Well, I'm great, thank you. How about you?" You know, and you kind of sincere with it. Yeah, most people don't respond because maybe they are taken aback. Like,
no, you're right. You're right about that. Me and Mario talked about this. Like, it's more of the most rhetorical question is how you doing.
Yeah, it's so rhetorical.
The most rhetorical question is how you doing. It just sounds good.
In sales, I try to teach my folks to try to be as sincere with that question as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because most people don't experience it. You know
Exactly.
what I'm saying? So if you come to get some cake and someone, at least it seems as if they care about how your day's been going or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think it makes a difference.
Absolutely. It's that human connection. Me and 20 talk about this. Like, am I going to be dealing with a human today, or are they just going with the thing? Like, and I, even like when I go through the drive-thru, I was telling somebody, I forgot because I say so much. I'm like, yo, when I go to the drive-thru, that's one of the times I really lock in on, like, I'm not just doing this give money, get food thing like people act like this person is about to talk to another person. Like, let me make that a decent little exchange, at least for 30 seconds of their day. So I appreciate that. Tell us a little bit more about Coco Cakes since they over there genuine. I know the love is inside the dessert then. Tell us more.
That is all it is. That's really all it is. So, man, I've been doing cakes since, I started Cakes by Coco in 1991 on the campus of Lincoln University.
Okay.
Missouri, the real one. Just joking. But I don't know. I like when I started doing it, the very first year, like my senior year is when I started.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That year, I was put in Black Excellence, which is like Black Enterprise. It was like a HBCU Black Enterprise, whatever.
Yep.
I was featured in that as a campus entrepreneur. MC Light kissed me in the mouth when I gave her a cake.
Oh yeah. Okay.
The voice.
The voice of the culture.
She kissed me in the mouth, you dig? And I was able to graduate off doing cakes. Outside of that, I wouldn't have graduated. I honestly don't believe I would have graduated.
Oh, that's perfect.
Heard that. You know what?
So it is a love. It's just like I fell in love with doing it, and just roll with it.
Hey, that's what. So you know why I love that? Because me and 20, we know each other from college. We're brothers by now, and we got together for football in school. And it's just so much. I love that the connection that you just made reminds me of ball, but it's not ball. Because ball is like it's one of the go-tos, right? But like you saying something that's different and still like tapped into, look, I used something that I was passionate about, and it got me through. So I love that.
Right.
I love that. All right, y'all.
It got me through. Where did
I'm a
y'all
big
go?
fan. We went to Robert Morris out in Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. Thank you for asking. Hey, you know what? Y'all.
We gonna be ready for Coco this show, bro, because he's actually engaged with the host.
Yeah.
Engaged with the host, man. So we got to be ready for these retaliations. Coco hitting.
Yeah, I'm like, where did I go to school?
Yeah, exactly. Me too. I was like,
no one's ever asked me that.
Brain going crazy. Hey, let's get into the episode today, man. So if you follow us, you know we try to do stuff with intention. We try to make it make sense. So this one obviously makes sense. This is a phrase that was brought by the guest. And whenever a phrase is brought by the guest, you can almost guarantee a good show because it's a connection. Now, this connection is going to be a little more obvious for y'all than we have to explain. So today we're going to unveil the origin, confirm the meaning, and assess the value of piece of cake. Why not? Why not? You know? So let's get our opinions on that real quick. So I'll start. It's something that I say. Like, this is one of those ones that I remember. I don't remember the moment I learned it, but I know I've known it for a long time, and I've never had a bad experience with it. And even when somebody that I don't respect or I don't want to hear from says it, it lands. So I'm rocking with this. I had fun with the research, and I'm hoping that y'all do too. So I'm rocking with piece of cake.
And that's all I have to say about that.
All right, 20. Where you at with it?
Oh, yeah. No, listen, man. I feel like this is like one of the first things you kind of learn when you're learning. You know what I mean? When you're learning and it's like somebody's teaching you something, I think that's one of the things that they use to show you, hey, look, this is relatively easy. Now, mind you, I don't know how piece of cake turned into relatively easy, so that's why I'm like, I can't wait for the show. But when you hear somebody say piece of cake, it's pretty much when it's saying that, oh man, this is easy to achieve or this is easy to complete.
My God.
So
here come forth.
And that's all I have to say about that.
All right, Coco. I'm a obviously tell us your connection, pretty clear with the phrase, but also with that easy part, let folks know, even though they should know, how not easy it is.
Yeah.
It ain't nowhere near easy. That was gonna be my whole argument of it. You know what I'm saying? It's like the process is, though it's beautiful, and if you can make it like a symphony, you know what I'm saying, it's great, but it's nowhere near a piece of cake.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I can't wait. I can't wait to dissect it because I want to know how they get it. Like, am I saying it wrong, or am I using it wrong, or
First,
you know what I'm saying?
research, what did y'all get from a piece of cake? Where did y'all get it derived from?
Oh, look.
I'm sorry, I'm asking too many questions.
No, you're not, sir.
Okay.
No, you're not. But what I will do is move us along. Since you're asking first, let me make sure Forrest talk to him.
And that's all I have
All
to say.
right, we all got it in. Forrest, hey, if nobody is a person that broke the phrases down, it was Forrest. If you think about it. Anyway.
Okay.
Now, so we're going to start with the meaning, right? So, Coco, what we do is we get it first. We set the stage by, like, what does this officially mean, if we can find it? So the research always starts with the meaning. So what I did, what we've done over 3 seasons is, like, we're trying to perfect this idea of, like, all right, basically we're going to take this phrase, we're going to put it through the filter, put it through the gauntlet, and wherever it stands and how we feel about it is how we're going to feel about it after all is said and done. So I use 3 different definitions or sources of definition at this point because sometimes they be conflicting and stuff. So we got Merriam Webster, which is a brand of dictionary. All printed definition books are dictionaries, right? So Merriam Webster is a brand of dictionary. Okay. So we got Merriam Webster, and then
I didn't even think they still made dictionaries.
Oh, they don't. That's why the next one, like they do. Don't get me wrong, but it's like you can now pivot to online. So online dictionary.com is our other source, and then we use Cambridge Dictionary, which is a combination of both. Let me do one thing. I'm gonna plug in this camera because it's acting funny. Hold on. Check that thing. All right. So let's get with Merriam-Webster, the brand. They define a piece of cake as something easily done. Okay, something easily done. Dictionary.com defines a piece of cake as something easily achieved. Subtle difference. And then Cambridge Dictionary says something that is very easy to do. So more along the lines of Merriam-Webster. Now, what I like to do here now is let's see if the definitions took us anywhere. I'm going to lead a little bit, which I usually don't, just to say, for those that haven't watched older episodes, shame on you, but welcome, is this is the first time that, like, I'm really having to squeeze to find a difference, right? So 20, where you at with the differences, just so we can make sure, you know?
Well, obviously it's the words, the last words, done, accomplish, and do. You know what I'm saying? Like those, they might sound the same, but all 3 of them are totally different. When you something that is easily done is pretty much towards the end of the process. Something that you can do is during the journey. You know what I'm saying? And something that you accomplish is just the ending.
Yes.
Something that you accomplish has nothing to do with the journey, has nothing to do with the idea. It has to do with just the finished product.
Yeah.
So I feel like with those 3 definitions, Cambridge, I feel like Cambridge is really, you know what I mean? Like we've been having a lot of Cambridge definitions that really hit home to the actual saying and what it means today. So I feel like Cambridge is really the one that is actually giving you that one that is closer to the saying. Got you.
Word. I'm with that. I'll sprinkle it on after Coco. Would you think now that you hear these definitions, where does the phrase sit with you, or which one's definitions stick out or resonate?
I agree with 20. Just that last word changing literally does change what each one of them means. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm sitting with this. Thank you for both. Because when I sat with that and I typed it in there and I read it, I'm like, am I doing too much by saying there's a difference? And the thing that stood out for me is, like, the achieved one adds way more. It's like almost ironic because it's like, to achieve anything is kind of hard, actually. It's like, so how could you even put easy and then achieve? That makes piece of cake, like, it makes piece of cake very much more difficult than the point of it. like to achieve anything, to actually accomplish something. Whatever. All right. Appreciate y'all doing that. So I'm glad we stand with Cambridge too. All right. Let's get into the origin of this thing now.
Where'd that come from?
All right. So what that does, besides the fact that we're just natural binders, transitions, is that it gives me a chance to pull up the notes. There's little subtleties. It's like the magic. Never learn from the magician. Okay. All right. So there's actually conflicting origins of piece of cake. So typically we have like a timeline. This one we have just straight up conflicting origins, and nobody can prove it. So what we're going to do today is we're going to stand on one of these, or none if you want, but hopefully we stand on one. So the first one, according to Bloomsbury International in idioms.com, and Bloomsbury International is a British language school, so it's academic. They say the origins can be traced back to the late 19th century United States, and it's believed that this phrase was invented in the 1870s during slavery in southern states as a part of a dance or celebration organized by slave owners. And then the black slaves will compete in what's called a cakewalk, and that would be performing a dance which imitated, subtly mocking the elaborate gestures of like how white slave owners act. So the most elegant dance, so that's unbeknownst, like the mocking is unbeknownst to the slave owners, but the best dance will get rewarded with a piece of cake. And then over time, like African-American couples will say like piece of cake because it's something that they could do. Like, little do you know, like, we can dance. So the piece of cake was awarded as the best couple or team, and can be known as something that we could easily obtain because we can dance.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, man. Wow.
That's the first theory. 1870s cakewalk from slavery. We can dance. White folks don't know it. This is easy. Give me my cake.
Oh yeah, oh wow.
Hold on, Coco, where you at with it? Just off the strength, where you at with it?
All right. So before I think it evolved to the dance thing, because I think it really did start by black people imitating like how the master walk in a way. It was some years ago though, but it was this black dude who used to go on stage, and most of his clients was white. And all he used to do was walk around the stage some kind of way, doing some kind of little thing, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
it was this whole skit, and he got paid to do it.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't know that it was called cakewalking at the time, but I'm sure they knew, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it evolved to become a dance.
I can see that. And it reminds me of court jesters. Like, and I'm gonna leave it there before I get to the next point. 20, where you at with it?
No, it's just it's crazy. It's crazy to like get these origins of these phrases, man, because you'll use them and you have no idea that they're directly linked to slavery and slave owners and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like when somebody says a piece of cake, the last thing that you think of is, slaves.
The worst atrocity in history, or one of.
Yeah. And you know what the crazy thing about it is that once you start to get the information, you can be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Oh yeah, that makes sense. You get what I mean? And it's like it's crazy how through over the years, certain aspects of certain things can get lost to the point where you have no idea what's going on. And now the reason why we do the show is because now we're giving you the knowledge. And now you have to choose whether or not this is something you still want to say.
Yeah, like what you gonna do?
That's where I'm at now, bro. That's where I'm at now. Not in just a sense of, is it disrespectful or is it derogatory or is it, you get what I mean? Like, how is it being formatted back then? Because obviously, if you in the perspective of the slave master, then yeah, bro, you might have to take a second look at that. You feel me?
Yeah.
But if you're in the mindset of a slave, it's like it's more confident. You get what I'm saying? It's more of a like,
that's actually cool.
You know what?
I rock with that. That's
cool. All I got to do for this I got to do all. You know what I'm saying? Like all I got to do is just do this for a piece of cake.
Imagine the first time they use that, not talking about the cakewalk. Like imagine,
oh yeah, that's
they like,
cake.
yo, and that's a piece of cake. What you mean? You know how easy it is we get that cake from Master, like, and that be like how you stand on that,
like that. It's a piece of cake, or it's gonna be as easy as that. And I'm just like, wow, bro.
Okay,
wow.
then. All right, cause we rolling. Let me do something, which I gotta do, cause it's a show of integrity. All right, Coco, we are honest folks. And it's crazy because I was about to say honest Abe's, but that we already had a misinformation about how he really wasn't trying. Anyway, all right. So here's why it has conflicting theories. So we got all the pieces of why it makes sense, and I love, Coco, that you brought an actual anecdote that you witnessed with your own eyes, because that's what all this shit is anyway. But according to History.com, and what we know is that slavery was abolished in 1865, actually on June 19th or Juneteenth. So it's fair to say that African-American slaves were freed by 1870, about 1870s. So, we lost them. Hopefully we get them back. So what that means is that either for me, my takeaway, and I would love to hear, because you believed it, your pushback is like either the dates are wrong when it came to be, which is fair, right? The dates could be wrong when it came to be, or this is not the origin. Where do you stand right now? I want to stand 10 toes by the end of all the origins, but where do you stand right now, 20, where it's like, all right, all right, like that's a worthy debunk.
You know what? That's what I'm saying. Like once you start getting all the information and you start to kind of like put two and two together, I really think that that's where it comes from. You know, it has to be a situation of, this is something that we can do easily, and that's a guaranteed piece of cake. So it makes a lot of sense.
It does.
So I feel like I don't want to debunk it just because of the ancestral meanings behind it.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? Like to know that this is our phrase, this is some phrase that we coined because of, the hardship that we were going through. And this was something that we did. That was a moment of our day that was, the easiest part of our day.
Yes.
You get what I mean? Like, that's how I look at it. Like, damn, this situation right here, this phrase right here, it just projects the easiest part of the day of a grueling day.
Yes.
And it's like, man, you know what? This compared to everything else, I'm about to get this piece of cake.
Exactly. All right. I'm gonna get my dance off, bro. If nothing else today. If nothing else today, bro.
We gonna dance.
We gonna dance and get this cake.
We gonna dance. If nothing else, we gonna dance. And I think that's the best part about it, is that they're finding that silver lining.
Ooh, see what you did there.
They're finding that silver lining in the situation of, hey, this is something that we can do. This is probably the easiest part of the day. So let me look forward to it. And, it's always going to remind me of how easy it was for me to get this cake, because this is something that I used to do freely. This is something that I used to do that gave me joy.
Yep.
And you know what? These dances, just communicating through music and song and dance and stuff like that, that reminds you of home too as well. So it's like a situation where this nostalgia is what led to this actual phrase, and I love it. I'm here for it.
Word. I'm with it. So we got a little bit technical difficulties with Coco. We're gonna plug them back in as soon as you get here. Keep the show rolling. We'll update them. But I'm excited to hear what he thinks now that there's a pushback. But from my take, you can shift the timeline of like when. I'm not saying we got to know for a fact when it was first uttered, but that's around the time. If you're telling me you first learned of it in the 70s because the slaves were freed and they were able to tell you what they were doing, that actually makes sense, as opposed to you saying it came out in 1842 in the middle of, like, how, you know what I'm saying? Like, of course they don't know. Nobody knows when they first started saying it, but we was free to tell you what was going on by the 1870s after we was free. So it actually aligns with me, and I'm glad you're there.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying, Mario. It's like, yeah, we finding out things now doesn't mean that back then it wasn't, it didn't happen.
Exactly.
There's a lot of things that we find out now that, we can only like see it in the eyes of someone back then. So It's like, yeah, that shouldn't be a debunking. That's just like you said, like we're able to tell you our story now.
Yeah.
Before we couldn't tell you our story. We couldn't before. They probably was like, oh man, I got it. They're knowing in their mind.
Yes,
knowing in their mind,
because it was subtle mockery, they say. It's
knowing in their mind that they couldn't wait for Master to say, hey, it's time to do this. Or they couldn't wait for, to put on these shows because this is the easiest part of their day. But yet back then you couldn't show that because it was like, oh, well, you enjoy this? Well, either I'm going to milk it out of you to the point where you're not going to enjoy it, or I'm going to use it as a weapon and take it away from you whenever, to control you.
Yes.
So the mindfulness of it is to keep it within ourselves that, hey, you get what I'm saying? Like, it's like when you finally, we're Black household. So it's like when you finally get to that age where you can look at your sibling or your cousin and be like, man, that ass whooping ain't hurt, dog. I took that shit like
exactly. Like I'm just,
You're never gonna tell your old girl that, bro. You're never gonna tell Miss Vicky that, bro.
Exactly.
You're never gonna tell Miss Vicky that this shit stopped hurting 2 ass whoopers ago.
Exactly. Like, oh. All right, Ma, here I come, Ma.
All right, yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and get the belt that I know that ain't hurt. The one that can wrap. I'm gonna go ahead. You gonna let me pick it? Oh yeah. Let me go ahead and get this flimsy, flimsy gown belt. You feel me?
That one hurts. Mom, stop. Yeah. Exactly.
Where they go? I ain't even hit you yet.
That's perfect, dog. That's funny.
So yeah, that's what I feel like this phrase. Yeah, bro. Like I don't think it debunks it at all. It's just really finding out that, hey, we're able to tell you the truth now. You know what I'm saying? Like you can tell your old girl, like, man, these whoopings stop hurting like 12, 13.
Yeah.
Now that you heard it,
okay,
but at 12, 13, you ain't saying, nah, they don't hurt. Oh yeah, okay.
Exactly, exactly, bro. Exactly. Thank you. All right, so the next one, that's that. Stick with it. The next one that is supposedly the origin is according to American Heritage Dictionary. So ironically, the British resource says it's an American phrase from slavery. The American Heritage Dictionary says it's a British phrase that originated in the Royal Air Force in the late 1930s to say a mission was easy, and that the precise reference is still a mystery in terms of why is cake easy. But they say in Britain that pie evokes an easy thing. It makes you feel ease. Swallowing a sweet dessert makes you feel ease. So that's why pies and cakes are considered easy things, because it's easy to eat. It makes you feel easy. So, the Royal Air Force. So I'm like, okay, okay. Why the Royal Air Force, right? I wanted to look into this. Like, I didn't want to stop there. Why the Royal Air Force? So the Royal Air Force is the world's oldest independent Air Force, and it's the first Air Force to become independent of Army or Navy control. So they were doing their own thing. They're the first Air Force that was doing their own thing without Navy or Army rules or anything like that. So they set that up. So that first told me, okay, they must have been solid enough to do missions or accomplish missions easily to have that come up. Like I'm trying to connect it. Like, all right, let me see this through. But what I end up keep going is like I never found anything that says that the Royal Air Force was the coldest. They just the oldest, but I don't see nowhere where they say they was the coldest Air Force out, and that like they were winning left and right. They expanded and got big, and they had a lot of different cultures eventually, European cultures, but they weren't. I don't see nowhere where they said they were the realest. But in that 88 Piece of Cake was a 6-part television series in Britain. And it was based on the life of a Royal Air Force fighter and going into World War II through the Battle of Britain, which was 9/14. You know what I'm saying? So World War II was around the same time as around the 1930s. Right. So the series is based on a novel written in 83 called Piece of Cake by Derek Robinson. So that's the debunk, is to say, no, people, you think it's from that time because of the show, not because they actually said it. So that's like the conflicting theory. You feel what I'm saying? So that's why I added that. Like, actually, where people will say, no, that can't be true because there was a show, and that's what's making you think that it's from that.
I get it.
Where you at with that?
But people don't want to admit that slavery existed. Like there's still people out there that don't want to believe that it was that bad. There's people out there that don't want anything to be connected with it because they want you to forget about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like with that, I think that's more or less what it is, because it doesn't make anybody look bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know
Especially. Yeah, go ahead.
Especially, bro. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, especially coming from American. Like, the British folks said, hey, y'all, this is what a school said, this is what we found. Now, and then America's like, no. Y'all came up with that. The Air Force.
Exactly.
The Air Force.
The crazy thing about that is that I feel like that's the second debunking sounds more like the Cambridge definition. I mean, it sounds like what you get at the end, like how they say that things come easy, like eating a piece of cake. That's more of, the accomplishment.
Yes.
As opposed to doing something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's .com. .com said achieved. Yeah. I agree with you.
But I apologize. Yeah, .com.
Yep.
Dictionary.com.
Yep.
Yeah, that's more on that aspect as opposed to, doing something or getting something done.
Absolutely. I'm in agreement with that. Now, the third one is that they're going off the earliest citation, right? So the earliest time that we've seen it written down dates back to 1936. So slightly after. Hey, what's up, Coco?
What's happening?
Okay, cool. We're going to run you down real quick. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. So what we end up doing, did you hear the debunk of why some people don't believe that it comes from slavery? Did you hear that?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Oh, cool. So it ain't even a lot. This is what it came with. So according to history.com, slavery was abolished in 1865, June 19th, which is Juneteenth. So it's fair to say that African-American slaves were freed by the 1870s, which they say is when that was discovered. Now, before I say 20's take on why he's not rocking with that conflict, I want to hear what your thoughts. Like, how does that make you not believe that it came from slavery? The fact that the dates are off?
I don't know if I could comfortably say a piece of cake came from slavery.
Yeah.
I could say maybe cakewalking came from slavery. And then, as time passed on and people interpreted it differently, they came with it's a piece of cake.
Yeah.
It could be linked. I mean, I could see an argument to where, if you really wanted to granularize it, you know what I'm saying? I guess you could say, well, it might not, but I think it is directly related from what I've read.
There you go. Word. Okay. So 20 was saying, and I'm gonna just speak for you, brother. Sorry to make it succinct. Is that he was saying, like, it's similar to once you're free. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what we was doing and saying and what we thought. But so of course it's gonna be after you gonna pin that down after we're free. You're not gonna say it came out. We don't know when we first said it, and it could have been 1818. Who knows? But we told y'all about it in the 70s when we were free, or we told somebody we were free to say how we really felt about it, that it was easy. We didn't let the owners know it was easy. So of course it wouldn't be information you had. So he's rocking with it because of that. And then, so let me hit you with the second origin, conflicting origin, and that comes from the American Heritage Dictionary, and they say it comes from Britain, based on the Royal Air Force in the late 1930s to talk about an easy mission, in that the easy piece of cake being easy comes from the idea in Britain at the time that things like pie and cake were easy to eat and gave you a feeling of ease, or swallowing a sweet dessert gave you a feeling of ease. So it's us, we can knock missions out as easy as it is to eat a piece of cake, basically, or eat a pie, or be indulgent to those things. Now, I started to research the Royal Air Force to say, like, okay, I'm not going to stop there and just believe it. What about the Royal Air Force? Why would they say that? So I looked it up. Oldest independent Air Force, independent of the Army and Navy. So they have that, but I couldn't find nothing that says they were the best, or like so good that they could just easily, or they could just tout that missions were easy. But what I did find was that A Piece of Cake came out in 1988, which was a British 6-part television series about the Royal Air Force. So maybe people was like, oh, because the show says it's from that's where the phrase came from. Where you stand with that?
It was an American author that wrote that too, and I think it was actually 1930. He wrote about something being easy. And
hey, let's segue to that. Thank you, Coco. You are the best. Hey, okay, look, y'all. I love everybody to sing. Look, like, you know how all my guests. I love all my guests to sing, right? Like, you gotta tell your students. You gotta. But I'm not gonna say there's favorites. There's just people I would prefer to call on in class to get the answer. Coco is that person. If no one's hands raised, I'm gonna.
Yeah, because we got to get through this thing. It's almost 3:00. I'm ready to go.
Exactly. I'm gonna ask Coco. So actually, the person Coco's talking about that wrote it in America in 1936 was Ogden Nash.
Ogden, yeah, that's it.
And he wrote it in the poem "Primrose Path" in 1936. And the phrase that the line in the poem says, "Her pictures in papers now, and life's a piece of cake," and that's pulled from his style, his humorous poetry style. So he was an American poet that was well known for what's called light verse, which is short, unconventional rhyming schemes that are jokes. So the New York Times called this man the best known producer of humorous poetry at the time, in 1930s. He's from Baltimore, that area, loves sports. And so he threw it in there. Now, the reason why no one just stands on this, beside it being the earliest citation, like the earliest written form, is that the same poem was published in 1933 in the issue of the New Yorker, and it has some lines missing. And actually that line, "Her pictures in the paper and life's a piece of cake," in that version says, "Her pictures in the papers now, and everything is Jake." And again,
Everything
remember, he's like,
what?
Everything is Jake.
Jake?
Mm-hmm.
Jake?
Jake.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And so I didn't look up what Jake could have meant, which I should have, but remembering that he was a humorous poet, that he would sometimes misspell words or mispronounce words to make the lines hit. So according to WorldCat, which is an online category of libraries all around the world, there's two definitions. One was published in 35, one published in 36. The one in 35 has less pages. The one in 36 has more, and some of the lines are switched. So some think that he changed it to piece of cake for the British audience, and the New York audience got Jake at the time. So like he was understanding his audience, or the editor changed it so that they will understand what he meant. So that's where that stands in, to say like he couldn't have invented it because it was already able to be interchanged.
Used.
Yes. 20, where you at?
Dude, I feel like even with that, man, like just look at the scenarios, man, because when you say, now that you connected piece of cake to cakewalk, like even when you say something's a cakewalk, that's the same thing as saying a piece of cake. You get what I'm saying? Like this thing was a cakewalk. Now I'm like, holy shit, I can't even say cakewalk now because I actually like know what's up now with the cake. When people say, oh, this thing was a cakewalk, man, that thing was a cakewalk, you know? Like it makes more sense that way as opposed to, Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like this, the eating
Royal
piece of
Air
cake
Force.
easy type of
Yeah,
deal. Air
yeah.
Force, yeah, man. No, man. Like we have the information. You have the information. Don't try to act like you don't have the information, though. You get what I'm saying? Like, and both of it fits so much more to this side as opposed to this side. Because, like I just said, man, you know how many people use cake? Oh, that was a cakewalk. That was easy. That was a cakewalk. So now
They don't even know, right?
it's starting to make a lot of sense now, Coco. It's like, yeah, no, them shits is cousins. At least they cousins. First cousins.
Yeah.
The first cousins got to be,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
So
Where you
don't
at
try
with
to
it, Coco?
debunk me.
Yeah.
Debunk yourself. Don't debunk me.
Yeah.
Right.
Coco, where you at with?
I wish I knew that dude's name who got famous doing the cake. Like, he literally got paid walking across the stage for crowds of white folks.
There it is,
I'm gonna
bro.
look it up just because of that, and we're gonna post it, and I'm gonna tag you. Okay, all right. Look, y'all. Those are the three. So what we're gonna do now is grade this thing, and then this is the spot. This is the spot where Coco, like, you get to go in. You get to go and connect everything. So this is how we grade it. It's a 3 categories, A through F grading scale. The first is power. Like, does it have impact when it's said or heard? Like, does it actually shift the room or shift the narrative or whatever? Or does it have an impact when it's said? So 20 is going to take care of that. Speed. Is it just eloquent to say? Is that part of why it lasted? Because it's just easy to say. You know what I'm saying? Is it eloquent? Flow off the tongue. I'll take care of that. And then you'll give us the guest preference grade. Pretty much, are you rocking with it based on the origin, based on your bias, based on what you learn, everything included, power, impact, everything included. You give it 1 grade based on how you feel about it, how you prefer the phrase. So 20, let's go.
Bro, power, like, from what I believe, it was way back in 1800s. So I'm gonna give it a A on power.
Yeah.
Just because, like, I might not mess with it personally, or I really got to think about whether I'm messing with it in the future. Just on some general, just be aware of it.
Yep.
But yeah, on power, man, I got to give it an A because, it's still used today. It's something that puts your mind at ease. Say if you have something that is very difficult, once you learn it, it's something that can put your mind at ease for the future references of it. So I just feel like, yeah, man, no, it's definitely an A when it comes to power because of the longevity and how it changes the masses, and you know what I'm saying, like how it affects the masses. So
all right.
A on that.
Stamped. All right. Speed, piece of cake. Look, you feel me? Like, and kid, it's one of the ones, this is how I grade whenever I can with speed and eloquence, is like, would a kid say it right and would it lock in with a kid? And it will be part of my power grade if I threw that in there, is that it's something that a kid can rock with. You can teach a kid, and it actually impacts them a lot. It will give them ease. Like you say, hey, that'll be a piece of cake. Oh, okay, I believe you. I'll give it a try. So I'm giving that also an A on speed. All right, Coco, where you at with it? Give us how you feeling. Tell us everything, especially being Coco Cakes is not playing. I cannot wait to have a piece. So, like, all things included, let them know where you're coming from now.
Yeah, it's the greatest. So I'm gonna put a little spin on it, right? 20, I'm gonna see if this will change your answer or your perception of it.
All right, yeah, I'm with it.
Let's say cakewalking started with slavery. Let's say piece of cake came at some point after that, right? Or it's the cakewalk came after that. Nobody really knew what they were saying. But if you think about cake, and this is kind of something else that made me fall in love with doing cake. If you think about cake, usually cake is used to make you happy.
Right.
If someone dies, you take cake to the repast. You know what I'm saying? And it's used to make you happy.
Right.
If you're not feeling good, some people are like, I'm going to get some cake today or whatever. Or, I know females are watching, but they'll feel this too. But there are certain times when they just want some chocolate cake because it just makes them feel better. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm saying, like, if later it switched to it's a piece of cake because I have this cake and now I feel better and this life is easier. And by the way, let me say this too. I have to put this in. When you talk about a cocoa cake, you shouldn't just say cake. because it's almost disrespectful. Okay,
You saw his eyes. You saw the eyes.
Yeah, it's almost disrespectful just to say cake if you're mentioning a cocoa cake. But since we're talking about cake, but so maybe from that perspective, it's possible that something is a piece of cake.
Yeah,
how possible is that? Just throwing it out there. What y'all think?
No, man. No, I'm with it. No. I'll say this as a son of a cake lover. Like my mom eat cake at the beginning of her meal. You know, she's one of those ones that she don't care when it is. She'll have it. So I definitely get that. Like I want to believe that it is, as opposed to it's a piece of cake, and that saying is to make you feel better.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? Like that's the one I want to believe, because I have no problem, no issue with that.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? I have no issue with that. But then again, when it comes to like putting together those certain information, it's like, that origin is a little, you know what I mean? That origin, it has to make you sit back and really, really think about, you know, what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we have this show, Coco, because it's like, let's actually take all of our personal feelings aside and take these facts and really, okay, now does these facts make me think about what I'm actually saying? Or, like we said at the beginning, we're going to still fuck with it regardless of what it means. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what it means, because to us, that's what it means.
Yeah.
So to me, something being a piece of cake means, hey, man, this was easy. You know what I mean? It's getting past that mental block of saying, I can't do this. So yeah, it still gives that A grade for me for power, because that's how it changes for me.
Yeah.
And it's still powerful that I know the meaning, I know the origin of it, but still I can still use it as this because of the longevity of it. So yeah, no, I definitely, I'm on the same page, Coco. I'm on the same page with you, man.
So Coco, what's your grade? What's your grade? Hold on, let me make sure I'm hearing right. What's your grade? A through F for this phrase?
For me?
Yup.
I'm probably gonna do an A, because it is. I mean, people say it, and you know what I'm saying. Kind of like they say picnic, right? Now, if you go back to the origin of picnic, well, you know what I'm saying. But people don't really know what it means.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I'm saying. So people won't. You say, you know, just throwing it out, just saying.
Yeah. No. We here. This is why we here, man.
I'm only saying careful because some of these listeners need to know. Yeah,
exactly. But we
ain't gonna break it down, but that's
we take personal and we take actual facts.
Yeah,
we separate them, bro. We have to separate them. We have to separate them to get the right knowledge to the right people. So trust me, Coco, we've learned some things on this show.
Yeah.
We learned some things on the show, man. Knowledge is definitely power, man. Yeah. So, but hey, I'll take it, bro. I'm not mad at the grades. All A's around. I'm not mad at the grades at all. I'm not mad at the grades at all.
You know what? I'm glad. And Coco, we do this tournament that we can't wait to have you involved in at the end of each season, where we pit all the phrases from the season based on their grades. We do a tournament bracket. We get voting going. And I'm thinking this going to be a top phrase, and we're going to have to see how it match up, because then we start getting mostly emotion about the phrase. Like people start to say like, it's mostly personal from that point. Like if you want to really rock with it, you go and rock with it when it comes to, I got to make a choice about it. So I'm excited about that. Thank you, man. All right. Let's, we are happy to have you. We are happy that Coco came through. We got one more thing to do before we get out of here. Two more things, really. One is make sure that y'all are rocking with Coco Cakes. Like I said, I can't wait to get mines. Mm-hmm. Okay, where you can find it?
Come up to Atlanta and roll up on you.
Yeah, where the Atlanta location.
I want y'all to understand, you don't need to come to Atlanta to get it.
You just giving me a reason. You giving me a reason to come today. That's all.
No. What you about to say, Coco?
Right to you.
Let's go.
Yeah, we ship nationwide.
Let's go. They ship nationwide, dog.
Nationwide. You can get the best on the planet right to you.
COCOCakesByCoco.com, y'all. Go get them. I have people that I trust have sworn by these people that I trust, and I'm a Scorpio, so that's few and far between. All right, last thing we do before we get out of here, 20, we have the
The Dictionary of Misinformation.
Go for it, brother.
Coco, this is my favorite part of the show. Man, me and Mario found this book. It's called The Dictionary of Misinformation. This is actual real book. This is not something that we're making up. And what it does is give you the right information about things that you've probably been misinformed about. Okay. So like a couple of things that we've done in the past, like when we talked about honest aim and all that good stuff like that, we kind of got debunked for that because this book is actually giving you what actually really went down, what actually going down. So what we do is we ask our guests, pick a letter, A through F.
A through Z.
Mario, well, A through Z. I'm sorry, A through Z. Yeah, you're right.
I'm gonna pick C.
Oh, perfect. There you go.
You didn't have to do the petty letter thing. You didn't have to do the petty letter thing. All right, let's go C. I'm gonna try to be quick this time. Let's see. Okay, all right. Let's do. Let's talk about another little business. And that's Coca-Cola. Let's talk about Coca-Cola. I'm gonna run through this quick, all right, because it's got a little paragraphs to it. So I'm gonna run through this quick. There's a wonderful old story about the secret message that enabled Coca-Cola to grow from a tiny little business to a multi-million-dollar beverage corp. For many years, Coca-Cola was sold to the soda fountain as a syrup, and the counterman squirted some syrup into a glass, then added plain soda water, hand you the mixture, and put your nickel in the cash register. It seems that an unknown person went to the Coca-Cola company and told those in charge that for $50,000, he would give them a secret that would make the company prosper. The secret was put it in a bottle. The story's not true. That's not a true story. It's not a true story. In 1886, an obscure druggist named Pemberton was selling drinks made out of syrup he made. That year, he spent $74 in advertising. It brought him about $160. And around 1890, Asa Chandler, a pharmacist of Atlanta, acquired the business from Pemberton. Soon after, two men came to him. It was Benjamin Thomas and Joseph Whitehead from Tennessee. And they said, Mr. Chandler, go into the business of bottling Coke. He didn't like the idea. Finally, he said, all right, I'm going to do it in 1899. And then it blew up. It wasn't like, hey, bro, I got a secret, bottle it and they'll come. It was just over time, I think the mass production money got to it. Like, just bottling. He said, okay. So it ain't no magic. They just bottled it. It was probably the actual Coke in the Coke. Okay?
I was going to say the actual Coke in the Coke.
Yeah, I'm about to say, yeah.
Yeah,
I thought that's what you were going to say the secret was. I thought that was what you were going to say the secret was, Mario.
Yeah, I was like,
you on that one
about the real?
Yeah. I was waiting for you to say that white. I was waiting for you to say that yay. He put that yay in there.
Yeah, right. You did.
Hey, man, that's a wonderful thing. Hey, Coco, before we get out of here, anything you want to leave the people with, man? Thank you for joining us.
Because I think
he's actually talking, so
yeah,
he's just trolling.
We go.
Word.
All right.
Cool. All right.
Never took
it. Yeah, brother. Leave him with something.
Hey, man, listen, like I always say, be kind to yourself so you can be kind to others, man. You know what I mean? Like respect the people that you trust, you know, and go about and be a good person, you know?
Man. Well, for me, I ain't got nothing to say because I've been talking all show, but what you can do, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube for the visuals. Go to appraisedappraised.com. Tip your flight attendants, tip your bartenders, pick up your litter. Don't litter at all, actually. Dap somebody up that you don't know, but make sure you got Sandy next to you. And always remember that value is in the eye of the appraiser. We'll catch y'all next week.
Conduct.